Hello Capricorn, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for your June 2023 Tarotscope. In the description box below, you will find links to all sorts of goodies. You will also find a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. Please do keep in mind that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading. Only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. It is my absolute pleasure to be here with you today. We're going to be looking at what you've healed or learned over the past 6 months, what you are moving away from this month, what you're moving closer to this month, where the next 6 months could take you. And we're going to be getting a theme song or songs for you to give a little bit more depth into this month for you. Let's dive in and see what you have going on. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves. What has Capricorn healed or learned over the past 6 months, please? What is Capricorn? Okay, thank you. What is Capricorn moving away from this month? All right, thank you very much. What is Capricorn moving closer to in June? Okay, thank you. Where could the next 6 months be taking Capricorn, please? Thank you. Let's get some clarity for you. Tell us more, please. What has Capricorn healed or learned over the past 6 months? What has Capricorn healed or learned over the... There it is. Thank you. Tell us, please, more about what Capricorn is moving away from this month. Okay. Tell us more, please, about what Capricorn is moving closer to this month. All right. Tell us more, please, about where the next 6 months could take Capricorn. Where could the next 6 months be taking Capricorn, please? Okay. And how... Okay, thank you. Can we please have what songs or song Capricorn needs for this month? Okay, thank you. Wow, that was really fast. Okay, so let's dive in. What have you healed or learned over the past 6 months, Capricorn? We do have here cooperation. In your quest to manifest the energy of love, you realize that every person and experience has value. I mean, this is pretty interesting, Capricorn, and it says a lot about the work you've been doing within, because Capricorn can have that very rigid kind of energy. And I'm just going to be honest, as somebody who has a Capricorn rising and has a Capricorn that I've experienced tremendously in my life, there can be that very like, this is it type of energy, right? It's like, this is it, no ifs, no ands, no buts, no nothing, like this is the way or it's nothing. And so, you know, I do feel like this is part of healing a shadow aspect of yourself, right? And this has been a reoccurring trend within the Tarotscopes for this month. I've been seeing it a lot. Each sign of the zodiac, it tends to be this energy of dealing with the, what we might call the shadow or negative or lower vibrational aspects of their sign, and bringing themselves more into those positive or the light or higher vibrational aspects. So it's interesting to me that this is showing up yet again for another sign. But for you, I feel like this is also, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like this is about developing that flexibility within yourself. And I do feel like this is because there is that understanding that each person brings value, regardless of whether they see things the way that you do or not, whether they are able to grasp things the way that you do or not, right? And here's the thing, my Capricorn friends. In the tarot, you're represented by the devil. And the devil is that representation of our ego. It's the representation of being chained, if you will, or restricted in some kind of way. Oftentimes, our ego or shadow aspects holding those restrictions. And so I do feel that moving through this energy over the past 6 months, it is likely that if you resonate with this, as you move forward, I feel like you're going to find life flowing a little bit more freely, a little bit more effortlessly. And through that, I feel that new experiences, new outcomes, new things could develop, because there's not that rigid, I'm actually seeing it like a box. And sometimes that stability is really great. And there is sometimes that mentality of like, why fix what's not broken? Surely. But there are other times that having the flexibility to wander outside of that box, outside of, that contained area can be beneficial. So I do feel that, this could certainly provide a nice change to your experience. I also feel like this could really benefit your relationships as well. And you may have found that if you resonate with this, that it actually has been benefiting, my gosh, pardon me, benefiting your relationships, right? Because it creates a more flowing dynamic. It doesn't feel so restricted. It doesn't feel so tied down. It doesn't feel so dominated over, right? Yeah, you also have here the strength in the reverse, which said, here's the thing. This says to me, right? Because with the strength in reverse, it is that energy of, let's say, insecurity. It is that energy of doubt and pride. Okay? So I feel that for you in the past, perhaps there has been doubt when you're looking at your interactions with other people, whether that be on a relationship front as far as romance is concerned, friendship, this could be in business, this could be in any relationship dynamic, including the one with yourself. Okay? But I feel that there's been this kind of, I'm actually getting the word stronghold on how things are navigated, how they are handled and dealt with, and the way that you approach things. It's very interesting. I do feel that oftentimes when we have this very strong hold on how things need to go, right, or we're rigid, it's because we're fearful. Whether we're fearful of it not turning out the way we want to, whether we're fearful of being wrong, or whatever it is we're doing being wrong, whatever it is, there's often that fear there. And so I feel that this is something that you have been dealing with over the past 6 months. And whether or not you've addressed it, I don't know. I feel like it depends on your situation, because the strength here is in reverse. There is this sense of pride that may be holding you back, or maybe has been holding you back over the past 6 months of, how do I say, preventing you from really developing that cooperation, from really seeing that value in each individual, and understanding that moving from a space of having an open heart, of compassion, of understanding, of strength, inner strength, that inner strength. Okay, we're not talking about you must do what I say, but inner strength. I feel that for some of you that could be blocked, right? Yeah. I also feel here that there is a healing that is happening, or trying to happen, or has tried to happen over the past 6 months. I don't know that this is I don't know that this has actually happened. For some of you, sure, but there's a healing here around your heart. Okay, the heart chakra. I feel like there are things here that where you're meant to be opening up your heart, because Leo energy is the heart. Okay. So that's what I see for the past 6 months for you, Capricorn. Um, let's see what you're moving away from as we move through June. Yeah, you'd have ownership here. You acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike and learn to love them all as lessons. So, again, I feel like I'm actually being shown like sweeping things under the rug, like it's coming through in that way. So I do feel like you're moving away from doing that. I feel like there is a sense here of moving away from just avoidant. An avoidant energy, and instead are moving more towards taking ownership of the outcomes of certain experiences and situations. I also feel like there is, how do I say? I feel like you could be moving away from that more fearful kind of energy by simply acknowledging that things unfold as they need to, as they're meant to teach us things about ourselves, about the world, about other human beings, to allow us to evolve, to allow us to gain new perspectives, and to really teach us. And this is how we grow. So, again, it just feels to me, I keep being shown over and over and over, like seaweed, right? Flowing in the water, seaweed. And I feel like this is where universe is trying to take you, God, source, whatever you want to call it. I feel like this is where you're being led, is to have more of that flexibility or more of that flow in your experience, and seeing that anything that you encounter is teaching you something, is valuable and conducive to your growth, your soul, your spirit. Okay. You also have here respect. Yeah, I mean, really, I feel like this is moving away from just, I don't know how to explain this, because it feels like for some of you, and maybe not all of you resonate with this, which is perfectly fine, because again, this is a collective reading. But I feel like there are some of you who truly have struggled to allow others to simply be where they are. Okay. There is that element of like, you know, I'm comfortable with how things are. And I get that. But it's the need to understand that maybe not everybody's comfortable with that. Or maybe not everybody understands from that perspective. Or, that's not the way that everybody else interprets the world, or perceives the world. And I feel like there is this push for you, Capricorn, to move away from this avoidant type of energy as like, it's my way or the highway, it's my way or no way, and this is how it has to look, or it's nothing. Right. And understanding that every single thing that you experience, whether that be people, situations, challenges, obstacles, circumstances, whatever it is, every single thing that you experience has value to offer you. And again, it's very much, I'm getting a lot of heavy kind of egoic energy here coming through, and I feel this is what it's trying to teach you. All the things that you're encountering currently, and probably over the past 6 months, have been trying to show you that having that ego overpowering everything really limits your ability to grow. It really limits your ability to have beautiful, meaningful connections, loving connections. It limits your ability to be open, to experience from the heart. So, I feel like you're being encouraged to move away from that. Again, like taking ownership for yourself and respecting that not everybody is going to experience life the way that you do, and that's okay. You also have here Eight of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, I mean, this is that avoidant energy I was picking up on. Okay. 8 of Cups is avoidance. It is fear of loss, fear of change. And I feel you're being encouraged to move away from that energy. Cups are about your emotions. They are about your feelings. They are about love. They are about spirituality, about relationships, your intuition. And I feel like these are things that you've been avoiding. I feel like, for some of you, I feel like you maybe don't take ownership over your feelings, that you maybe also struggle to listen to your intuition. Again, there's this heavy feeling of control here. Okay. So I feel you're being encouraged to move further away from that energy, to master your own emotions, to master yourself by bringing this into balance and letting people flow with and around you. We also have the 7 of Swords, new tactic. This is trying something different. You're being encouraged to do things differently, to come clean. Again, there's that ownership energy, right? To come clean especially with yourself, and to take ownership, I feel, for your own ego, your own pride, and where it has gotten in the way of, again, developing these very meaningful connections or having these incredibly meaningful experiences. I feel like for some of you, I don't know why, but it just feels like you've been deceiving yourself into believing a certain something. And again, maybe this is about your relationships potentially, because we have that cooperation there at the top. But it really feels like you're, again, being encouraged to try something different, because whatever it is that you've been doing hasn't been working, especially in your connections. Wow, yeah, we have the Empress here in the reverse as well. Uh, I mean, there's with the Empress. I'm just going to be honest. Like, this is all of this energy right now is very heavy. This is probably one of the more heavier readings that I've done for this month. I think Virgo's was pretty heavy as well, but this one's pretty heavy. And it feels to me that with this Empress here in the reverse, um, there's a selfish kind of energy. And I just feel like that's simply because there's been this, how would you say, almost like this indulgence of your own, I don't even know how to explain it. Um, it's like indulging in your own, I don't even know how to explain it. It's so difficult. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to bring this forward with words. Um, it's almost like being so indulgent in what you believe to be true about whatever it is that you're nurturing or creating, or your physical world. It just feels like there's this very kind of smothering but selfish type of energy, like this is the way it has to be and I'm going to impose those beliefs on you. Which, I mean, in the upright, the Empress is it's a very like creative, nurturing type of energy. It's very beautiful. It appreciates beauty. Um, Again, very nurturing. And in the reverse, it's like stifling all of that. It's like, again, like the weight of the world here is like, right? It just feels very heavy, very heavy, and excessive. And I feel like this is maybe where, you know, I feel like it's kind of gotten out of hand a bit. And maybe it's not, for whatever reason, I feel like some of you are like oblivious to this. Like, I feel like you may not even see it in that way or not even understand it in that way, but it is how it's coming across here. And maybe that's because perhaps you've let the world get the best of you, the physical world. I mean, you are an earth sign. Perhaps you've let the earth world get the best of you and weigh on you so heavily that you yourself maybe feel smothered. or weighted. But I feel like you've got to acknowledge these things about yourself. And here's the thing, there is that saying, right? As within, so without, as above, so below. So if you are, it's like if you feel that way inside, you are likely putting that, projecting that outward onto other people. Okay. So maybe that's what's being said here, is it's coming through to say, hey, look, this is what you're dealing with internally, and you are impressing that upon other people, and it's creating challenge for you. I mean, you do have two major arcana cards out here, which the major arcana is that soul journey. It is your journey. So there are changes here that are trying to be made for your development, for your evolution, but they are blocked. So you have to be open to those things. And I feel like, again, you're being encouraged to move away from this very structured, outdated way of moving. You also have the Nine of Cups here because it is creating dissatisfaction in your experience. It is leaving you feeling like a lack of true joy for life. And the word I got here was empty. Empty. And that's not to say, I want to make this very clear. That is not to say that you don't experience moments of happiness or moments of joy, but they feel very fleeting. It feels like it doesn't stick around long enough for you to even bring it through your heart, to bring it through your being. Again, please only take what resonates with you, but it feels like there is this serious lack of joy here. Yeah, I mean, because if you look at this, it would be like all of your cups being dumped out, right? Like what truly is valuable being dumped out. And again, cups are love, cups are emotions, feelings, right? So it really feels to me like there's this true dissatisfaction. And for some reason, for some of you, there's almost like a smug type of energy about it, even. I'm very drawn to the fact that you have this, you're staying right around, with the exception of the Empress, this 7, 8, 9 kind of energy. It's like, it's like you're trying to be taken to that next level, truly, but it's all blocked. Let me just move this over here a little bit so you can see. It's all blocked. So let's see where what you're moving closer to. Yeah, evolution. You cannot make this up. I mean, almost every single sign has had this card in some position, somewhere. Almost every single one. And, I feel like, again, like I've said, it feels like God is trying, source, whatever you call it, is trying to take you to that next level. It's like right there, but it's blocked. So you're moving closer to evolution. It says you realize that the obstacles are merely lessons on your path to love. So again, and you have, there's so many things coming in, and because it feels to me like God is trying to crack you open, and you are fighting every step of the way. That could have something to do with your past wounding, your trauma, different things you've experienced, perhaps programming, even whatever it is. But it feels like I'm seeing it almost like holding this very large nail or something with a hammer and trying to crack open a stone. That's how I'm seeing this. Because I feel like God is trying to crack you wide open, but there's all of this denial and avoidance and pride that seems to be getting in the way. So you are being encouraged to move closer to evolving through the acceptance of what is being put in front of you and allowing yourself to be cracked open. Understanding that all of the things you've experienced, good, bad, ugly, and everything in between, has been for you to grow, for you to evolve, to heal. to love. To clarify, you have the Page of Wands. This is freeing yourself. Things coming full circle. And I do feel like this is a message for you with that page. And I feel like it's one that's saying to you that there's this need to be courageous, to find the enthusiasm for life again, to allow yourself to explore the possibilities through the differences between yourself and others and how other people view the world and their perspectives, opening up your heart space to experience the adventure of the differences, the uniquenesses in people. But the biggest thing here is that freedom. It is that freedom. Freeing your heart, cracking it open and seeing life as an adventure, as an exploration of yourself, as an exploration of what is possible with other people. I truly feel that there has been this weight that has been holding you to, how do I say, it's been like holding you back from really bringing life through your entire being. So let's take a look at where the next 6 months could take you, Capricorn. You do have gratitude here. This is beautiful. You fully appreciate the invaluable lessons that life lovingly presents to you, right? So the next 6 months could have you, if you allow yourself to free yourself, if you allow yourself to open up, if you allow yourself to see life as an adventure, to try something different, to step outside of that box, I feel like you could potentially heal a lot. I mean, you have 3 out of the 6 cards, or excuse me, the 5 cards that you have out here, you have 3 that are green. That is that heart chakra energy. Okay, so I do feel like the next 6 months could really open your heart up if you let it. And through that opening, I feel like you will start to see what life has been trying to show you, what God has been trying to show you, teach you, what you've been exposed to, and how that exposure has been trying to help you. And I just feel like it looks a lot different when you see things from that perspective. You truly do start to be grateful for experiences. I'm not saying that you enjoy them. I'm not saying that it's all like freaking cupcakes and rainbows, but you do start to appreciate the lessons. You start to appreciate being shown exactly who the F you are, even if it doesn't look pretty. You also have here forgiveness. Yeah. You are now able to activate the power of love in order to release past hurts. Again, like I said, some of you may struggle with emotions, with those depths, because perhaps you've experienced things in your life, traumas, woundings, etc., that have caused you to kind of lock your heart down. But I do feel that if you choose to start opening up and start to see things as an adventure and start to find forgiveness and become the alchemist and be grateful for the things that you've been taught through those traumas and woundings, you can really truly start to experience life in a different way, a much more loving way, a much more colorful way. I mean, I'm not, again, I am by no means trying to say that this is easy. It's not. Anybody who tells you any different is lying to you or trying to sell you something. This is not easy. Facing yourself, taking ownership over your own demons, your own misdeeds, your own nonsense, your own bullshit is hard. It is very, very hard. But doing so allows you the glorious opportunity to see life in a much fuller way, in a much more satisfying way, in a much more harmonious way. Because the things that you don't face, you carry. End of story. And the more you carry, the heavier life feels. The heavier it feels, the more stressed you are, and so on and so forth. So even though it's incredibly painful and difficult and challenging to face these truths about yourself, it is far less difficult and painful than carrying it around for the rest of your life and having it have control over you. And it does and will. That's why in the tarot, the ego shows up as the devil, and it has those individuals on the card chained because it holds you. It has a hold over you, and it bleeds into every facet of your life, whether you believe it or not. Because even if your trauma and your wounding has you built this wall up where you don't let people get too close to you, every interaction that you have is affected by that. Every single one. To some degree or another. And it prevents people from really getting to know you, and it prevents you from really getting to know others, which hinders your entire experience as a human being because you're shut down to connection. True, meaningful, loving, fulfilling connection. To clarify, 8 of Wands. Yeah. I mean, so, if you choose to step into this energy, I feel like things could start turning around rather quickly. You will probably see results a lot faster than you anticipated because, again, this is mastering yourself. You have 3 8s out here now. You may be seeing repeating 8s. If you are, I feel like that's a big sign for you that you are meant to be going through this rebirth process, meant to be mastering yourself and taking action upon these things. Okay? But again, it's like being right at the cusp there. Because these are not, with the exception of the Empress here, these are not like 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s in the earlier stages of that development or that unfolding or the Arcana. These are in the lower or the higher, if you will, however you want to look at it, ends of these suits, which says it's like you're like trying to transition, trying to master, trying to overcome, trying to learn the lessons, or rather you're in a position to be able to do so if you let yourself. And this card here is saying that like things can move very quickly, changes can take place very quickly, conclusions can come very quickly. Okay? But again, you've got to be willing to take those steps forward. You've got to be willing to initiate these changes within your life. Yeah, you also have the 4 of Pentacles here. This is like holding stuff too tightly. This could be something that you find yourself working on over the next 6 months. And I do feel like the 4 of Pentacles is often that like miserly type of energy, which is kind of funny because one of the shadow aspects of Capricorn can be that miserly type of energy. So it's kind of making, as the Capricorn rising, it's kind of making me chuckle a little bit. But this is like that control. This is that blocked type of energy. Like blocking change, holding things too tightly, being unwilling to be flexible, it's like, I need the security, I need everything to be the way that I need it to, or else type of thing. This is also you. This is Capricorn energy right here. Okay? So there is this need to allow yourself to the movement, the change, right? And I feel like this is something you're going to be continuing to work on, which makes a whole lot of sense because they are aspects of that Capricorn, positive and negative, or both sides of that coin. But I do feel like this is about finding security. How would I say this? In the truth. Finding security in the truth of who you are at a soul level versus, let's say, how things unfold in the physical world, or how things come forward in the physical world, or what they look like, or that sort of thing. I also feel like this Four of Pentacles can be, for some of you, about like holding yourself too close. I mean, if you look here, she's like guarding this with both hands. It's near her heart. She's covering up her heart space. So I do feel like for some of you, this is literally you holding yourself close to your heart without letting others in. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Queen of Cups here. This is somebody who is incredibly compassionate, very, how would we say, soft, is the way we might look at her, because she's very loving, very tender-hearted, right? She's got her heart wide open. She's also very intuitive, psychic, spiritual, right? She's very feeling, very feeling. And here I feel like this is asking you to open that heart space up, right? To be forgiving, to be compassionate, to tap in to those more loving and tender-hearted aspects within you. And whether you are male or female, regardless, you have those characteristics within you. It's simply about developing them. Well, simply as it can be. Releasing fears as well. Okay? So certainly, I mean, I would encourage you to, again, open your heart. Open your heart. Find forgiveness. Find compassion. And also, you have cups, right? Which is also like flow, water. Cups is water, right? And so I'm seeing that flowing type of energy as well. And finally, Queen of Wands, interesting, in the reverse. So this is an energy of, I mean, essentially, this is insecurity. It is this kind of, it's interesting to me because this can be selfishness as well. And I feel like this is what, it feels to me like these are the battles that I feel you may be experiencing over the next 6 months. Like, one being making quick decisions and allowing things to unfold rather quickly, creating a lot of movement over being very rigid, being very controlling, needing the security. Okay. And then I feel like you could also have this other battle that's happening within you over the next 6 months around being open and loving and tenderhearted and compassionate and nurturing, and listening to your intuition, listening to your feelings, letting them guide you over letting the insecurities and that kind of selfish energy, right? Like going, I feel like it could be finding the balance between these two energies. The Queen of Wands in the upright is beautiful. It is one of my favorite energies in the tarot, because she's so, I don't know, to me, she feels so courageous and so passionate and so joyful and so full of life and loves life and wants to share her light with the world and isn't worried about what anybody else thinks or how they do life. She's just doing it the way she does because it feels good to her. And in the reverse, it's this energy of like not having that on lock, like feeling very insecure about who you are and needing to have control and needing to kind of like, oh, I don't know how to feel it. It feels, or how to say, but it feels like blocked, boxed in, like not free to be who you are. And it feels very like I'm selfish and I do these things the way that I do because I'm insecure, because I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't know my own fire, I suppose is a way to put that. So, I feel like there's this balance that is being asked, or rather, almost like a battle between these energies and finding ways to move through them. And I feel like if you put your evolution and gratitude and love and forgiveness and cooperation at the forefront of things and move from there, I feel like you're going to experience life and your interactions with people on a much more satisfying and fulfilling level. I feel like it's going to enrich your life tremendously. So you also have here 4 songs to accompany your reading. The first one is Lost by NF featuring Hobson, and I certainly was picking up on this energy. So it says here, but I manifested this. Failings, how you grow and learn your lessons, kids. Take the worst and try to make the best of it. 'Cause when you fail, just know that it's a test. And if you can learn to pick yourself back up again and train your brain not to be such a pessimist, it's okay to make mistakes. Just don't forget that. Right? And it's so fascinating as well because, again, one of those more shadowy aspects of Capricorn can be pessimistic. Right? So I do feel this is certainly about seeing how the things that you experience in your life are lessons for you. And those challenges and obstacles are tests for you. And many times, even though they feel heavy, they're often designed to show us our true strength, to bring out our truth. So this is a really, really excellent song. You may want to take a listen to that. NF's music is always so incredibly impactful and powerful, in my opinion. You also have here Hidden Citizens featuring Cersina. Here we stand. We were chosen to be the new beginning, though the sun surrendered its last light. This age as we know it is ending, but we're ready. We've waited for this time. Here we stand at the Genesis as the world is awakening. A new day will start again. Here we stand at the Genesis. And this for me is saying to Capricorn, like, the old ways of doing things are not going to work. They're not. Because the planet, the earth is shifting. Humanity, the collective, is shifting. The old ways of doing things are shifting. Whether you want to acknowledge that or not, it is happening. And because of that, the old ways of doing things are not going to work. Maybe they will for a little while longer, but you're going to find more and more and more that they don't. And that can be in business, that can be in communication, that can be in love, that can be in friendship, that in any aspect you want to acknowledge, it can be there. And I feel like this card is coming through to say, like, we're at that precipice where it's not going to keep working the same way. We are evolving, and either you evolve or you get left behind. The choice is yours. It always is and always will be. No one and nothing is going to force you. You know, God, even God is not going to force you. You have free will. Right? You have here as well Heading Up High by Armin van Buuren featuring Kensington. C, when you're holding on to all that you can't be, know that all there is to gain lies within arm's reach. For the flaw lies in your head, not in your heart. So I do feel like this is likely to resonate with those who may have been carrying some traumas and woundings and things that have prevented you from opening your heart. You know, that little voice that says you're not enough, you're not good enough, who are you to? That voice that says no one will love you for who you are. That voice says when you open up your heart, you get hurt, etc. Right? And the truth is that change is it's within arm's reach. As a matter of fact, it is within you. And finally, you have Nothing I Can't Do by Tadashi Lecrae and Trip Lee. Gotta go harder, but I ain't gotta do it myself. I can't do, there ain't nothing I can't do. Feeling like I can't lose, there ain't nothing I can't do. Right, so this is, I feel, encouragement for you, right? I feel like this is God, source, universe, whatever you call it, showing up to say, you can do this. You absolutely can do this, and you don't have to do it alone because God is with you, source is with you. Whatever you call it, your angels, your guides, your ancestors, however you view that, you're not alone. The choice is yours, but there truly is nothing that you are not capable of doing. Please know that. Wowzers, Capricorn, what a reading. This has been pretty intense, but I thank you so much for being here and hope that something here has resonated for you. If it has, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting below, or subscribing. It does tell YouTube that there may be something valuable or informative here for someone else, so I truly do appreciate you doing so. I pray that this month brings for you the ability to open up, the ability to see yourself exactly as you are, the ability to forgive as you move through the next 6 months, and to help you to evolve, to experience life with much more color, much more flavor, and have connections that are far more fulfilling, bringing you this deep sense of satisfaction, not only for the life that you're living, but the meaningful connections you are creating. Take care of your beautiful, loving soul. Peace be with you and within you. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.